The Chiefs beat the Falcons, and let's be honest, it was like watching a magic show where the refs were the assistants, disappearing penalties here, a phantom call there, and poof, an instant win. The Chiefs, once again, were assisted by the refs in this game. This is 3 weeks in a row where they have been assisted by the refs. The Chiefs do have the best player on the field, and it is not Mahomes. It is not Rashee Rice. It is somebody in black and white. It's the ref every single game. It's becoming quite alarming at this point, how the way they're getting helped out by the refs. So I'm not sure if you watched this game, but did you see the pass interference call at the end of the game that the Falcons?
I missed it.
Okay, so Falcons driving down the field again 2 weeks in a row. Kirk Cousins trying to take them through primetime, saying, no, primetime Kirk is here. Primetime Kirk is not a bust. Primetime Kirk is here to fucking slay that shit.
What's going on, everybody? You are tuned in to another episode of the Flea Flicker Show. We are your hosts, Fred and Dre, coming at you with another recap, coming at you with the Week 3 recap. It was a pretty exciting week of the NFL action, and hey, all of us came out with positive outcomes this week. Well, at least no negatives. Some of us were breaking even in terms of our standings, but going on the week, I'm going to real touch on this really quickly here. I came in at 8-8. Also, Dre came in at 8-8. We were in the back of the pack. Everybody else was 9-7. So a bunch of times there. Going on to the season, though, you have LJ still at the top, 26-22, followed by myself, or LJ at 33-15, followed by myself, 26-22, followed by Josh and Dre with a tie at 25-23, and Tyler making himself an even 500 at 24-24. So he had a rough skid to start, but now once in the negative. That's always good to see.
Yeah. Hello, lovely people. Yeah, it's been a little rough picking games this year so far.
Yeah.
Not really sure who to go with on a game-by-game basis. There's been upsets everywhere we look. There's been surprises. There's been disappointments. We'll see if we can start to figure these teams out as the weeks keep going. But this week, it'll probably be no different. There's going to be some upsets and some confusion.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure what to do with some of these games, but we got to talk about this last week first, and that's what we're going to do in this episode.
Yeah, let's get after it. You want to go ahead and enter the games, or you want me to go ahead and do that?
Why don't you do it? I think you're pretty good at doing the recap.
Yeah. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, we had the Patriots facing off against the New York Jets. But the Jets didn't just beat the Patriots in this game. They handed them a lesson in how to fly high, while New England were still trying to figure out how to take off. The Patriots, they again suck. They are what we thought they were going to be. Week 1 was just a fluke, and the Patriots suck. The Jets defense finally showed up in a game. The Rodgers actually looked legit for once. Good signs for Jets Nation there. And he is kind of what we wanted him to look like. He actually looks like Rodgers of old, minus the mobility, but it'll be nice to see that growing chemistry that we'll have with Garrett Wilson there, and good things to come for New York.
Yeah, you finally got a touchdown to Garrett Wilson, the first one between that pair. And honestly, I'm still waiting for them to take off together, because I drafted him. I've kept him 2 years in a row on my dynasty team, Garrett Wilson.
Same.
And I just keep expecting him to explode, and it hasn't happened yet. I think we're on our way, though. We're on our way with this game. They look like they got it together a little bit.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like I'm always like, he's been such a good receiver with Zach Wilson and White as his quarterback. What's he going to do with Aaron Rodgers? And to this point, not that much. I mean, he's gotten double-digit points every single week, but he hasn't had a week that makes you say, wow, he's a rock.
Yeah, Allen Lazard's been getting most of the love from Aaron Rodgers. I think some of that has to do with Garrett Wilson being targeted by the defense, though, as well, because they know that he's so talented. But yeah, the Pats, they got shit on by Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and listen, the tears of the Patriots fans just taste so delicious after all those years of them talking shit while beating up on teams like the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Not always my Giants, but still, the Patriots, I mean, fuck them. I don't care about them.
Fuck them.
I was happy.
Yeah, to the tune of 24-3, they lost that game, so that was it was good to see. But moving on to the Sunday slate. I'm going to start it off with my guys just because I don't want to get this off the docket here. They were 1:00 games, so it works. Eagles, Saints. The Eagles just pulled off a stunning upset against New Orleans this week. Guess the Saints forgot to check the weather forecast because they didn't see that storm coming. Yeah, it was a fun game. It was a good game. But what I really want to talk about, I came out of this game pissed off.
Yeah.
We got the win. Love it. I'm not pissed off about that. I'm kind of pissed off about some stuff with the refs. But what I'm pissed off about is the Philadelphia media. The Philadelphia media, the way they were going about this game, you would have thought that we are starting this season 0-3. They're saying this team stinks. They're calling for Jalen Hurts' head. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This team was going against the team that the Saints were averaging over 45 points a game to this point, and we're making every team look like fucking JV squad. Meanwhile, they go out there, they hold them to 12 points, under 230 yards of total offense, had under 150 yards passing for 3 quarters. Was definitely a team that showed up when they were shorthanded. They didn't have A.J. Brown. Devonta Smith got hurt after the second quarter. They lost Lane Johnson. Smoked by what should have been a play that was called dead, by the way. And guy came and smoked him with a head-to-head contact while he was being held up by his own teammates. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, lost Lane Johnson during the game. Lost Mekhi Beck. Lost Darius Slay to another dirty play. And the team still found their way to win. Jalen Hurts had a 300-yard passing game without his best receiver for the whole game and the second best receiver for most of the game. And then Dallas Goedert finally gets used. Jalen Hurts has a 76% completion percentage for the 4th time in his career, 2nd week in a row. How are you going to come away from this game and find negatives? Be happy with the win. Yes, Sirianni's still a moron and made stupid play calls. That's apparently going to happen. But be happy with the win.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. And
Eagles fans
this is something where I agree with
that.
Tyler. Tyler would go off in this and say, fuck Philadelphia. I say fuck the Philadelphia media here because this is a fucking travesty. Support your team. They just got a huge win.
It seems like Eagles fans are like that all the time, every single year, day in and day out. They're haters on everything and anything. They're kind of similar to how a lot of Giants fans are, to be real. But Giants fans with good reason for the most part. But yeah, the Eagles, I mean, Saquon really won the game from what I saw. He was a fucking beast out there again. And it makes my heart happy to see him doing great, even though Giants fans seem to hate it for the most part.
Oh, yeah, he was unbelievable out there, dude. He killed it. Without Saquon, I don't know where we'd be this season. He is the off-season pickup for sure.
He's a stud. He's an absolute stud.
Dallas got 175 yards receiving. Absolute monster game for him.
Absolute monster. The Eagles, they didn't come out unscathed, though. Like you mentioned, they had multiple injuries, and I think that could seriously impact them next week, and hopefully not, but possibly in the future, too, after next week. So you got to hope that some of those guys that got hurt are not serious injuries and are able to come back. I mean, the Devonta Smith one was a little scary. Did he get knocked out? Because I couldn't tell. It looked bad.
I couldn't tell either. He was down there for a couple seconds, so I want to say he probably did get knocked out, which is pretty scary. Did you see the play?
Yeah, that was one. I did see the play. He got absolutely fucking. It was like a 2010 Saints defense play.
I was like, holy shit! Play, like being held up by 2 defensemen. Play should have been stopped at. There's no more forward progress. Then a defensive tackle comes up and just lays him out, knocks his helmet off. I'm like, dude, come on, no penalty.
Was he the one that got suspended? Because I saw a defender get suspended for a game after this week.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that. I didn't see anything. The only thing I saw was him and the Saints defending it, where the Saints said that none of their players were illegally targeting guys or anything like that. Did you see the Darius Slay one? The Darius Slay injury?
I didn't see that one, no.
For that one, the offensive lineman went full blindside on him. And like, do you recall the scene from Blindside where he takes the defender and carries him all the way through the end zone?
Yeah.
It was that, but through the sideline. So the offensive lineman like picks up Darius Slay by his chest plate and like pushes him through all the way past the sideline into the other team, into the bench, and then just boom, releases it.
Slay had to have been talking shit or something for that to happen.
Slay talks a ton of shit.
But yeah, it was one of the Chargers defenders, actually. Derwin James got suspended for a dirty hit. So not in this game.
Not in this game. Yeah, that's my 2 cents there. I just wanted to touch on the Philly media, how they can't support their own squad. And
trash.
It's terrible. I just say, Sirianni, fuck analytics and just go with the way the game flow is going. And I know analytics says go for it on 4th and basically anything 4th and 7 or less. But fuck analytics sometimes. Just take the points. Points are good to take. And Barkley is the best running back in football.
That's why you go for it.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't run it. He passes it half the time. And it makes no sense. But anyway, on to another game from the 1 o'clock slate. We're looking at the Packers and the Titans. Forgot the score there. My bad. The Eagles ended up winning that game 15-12, but pretty low score. What'd you say?
Saints should have won.
Nah.
Trash ending.
Eagles outplayed them the whole game.
Yeah, debatable.
They outplayed them. They didn't do anything on offense.
Who, the Saints?
The Saints.
Yeah.
Nothing, which is crazy because they were so damn good before. But moving on over, we're going to the Packers and the Titans. Looks like Malik Willis just showed the Titans that sometimes the best way to get back at next is to win with their new squad. Malik Willis he must have been thinking, you can't spell Titans without it. And today was a Packers victory. And
Jesus Christ,
the Packers handed it to the Titans this game, 30-14. It was a good game for them. Willis had me coming out of this game saying, is he good? Do we not know the narrative on Malik Willis? He actually looked really good in this game. Looked like he could start for a lot of teams in the NFL. He's not going to start when Jordan Love comes back, but Malik Willis looked solid. It was honestly a pretty good game, I thought, for Malik Willis, and an improved game for Levis, even though it wasn't perfect. But again, it comes down to Levis' decision-making. He had 2 interceptions. The difference between him and Bryce Young in terms of where they are in their careers, Levis is actually moving the ball. He was able to get Hopkins involved. Last week, he got Ridley involved.
Playing?
Levis is actually seems to know that he's playing football. The pass attack for the Titans, I think, is getting close to being solid. It's just not complete every single week, but I think it's on the way there. Their running game sucks, though. With Tony Pollard and Spears, no one that can just lay a shoulder down, 2 small guys. There's not really too much there in my mind for their offense, but the Packers getting 2 wins with Jordan Love out is huge for them. Absolutely huge. Their defense stepping up in a big way and actually becoming a force now and looking pretty legit. Their defense looks really good. We said going into the season that the Packers had some question marks coming in, but could be a real big player come playoff time. And it looks like it's going to be that way.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Malik Willis, he just looked better than Will Levis in this game. I think a lot of that comes down to Matt LaFleur just being a really good coach.
Yeah.
And overall, I think it's kind of embarrassing for the Titans, to be honest, because they jettisoned Malik Willis to the Packers after basically giving up on him as a quarterback, and then the Packers use him to beat them. So it's rough. It's definitely good, like you said, for the Packers. They got 2 wins now without Jordan Love, which is crazy, but it's also against some relatively rough teams that they played against. So I think next week will be much more telling for the Packers, whether Malik Willis or Jordan Love is in to be real. Hopefully Jordan Love will be back. But yeah, for this one, I mean, the Titans were just outplayed by the Packers. That's basically all I got.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there really is to take away from that one. Fine. Moving on to another game that has a rookie quarterback in it. We talked about a couple second-year guys, 1 second-year guy there, but let's move on over to Denver. You had the Buccaneers taking on the Broncos. This was one that we thought was a sure thing, but the Broncos must have taken a wrong turn on the way to a lost season because they just shocked not only the Buccaneers, but they shocked everyone in football. And it seems like they found their GPS signal on the way to this one and actually showed up. The Broncos showed up and played like they had a treasure map to victory. Too bad the Buccaneers were still looking for the ship in this and came up empty-handed. The Buccaneers lost this game 26-7. This was a pretty wild outing. I, for one, thought this was going to be a massacre. thought the Broncos kind of sucked. I'm not sold on them at this point right now, but their defense does look good. They moved the ball a little bit there. It was a mistake-free game for Bo Nix. I think that was a huge difference there. He's had some mistakes here at the start of his rookie year, and he was mistake-free in this game. Didn't throw any picks, didn't make any bad decisions, really. Bucky Irving, though, I will say, for the Buccaneers, this is something that you and I have both touched on. Bucky Irving has arrived. He will take full control of that backfield sooner rather than later. The coaching staff's already said he's going to get a bigger role, and what bigger role could there be than to be a starter? Because right now he's pretty much splitting carries with Rachaad White. He should be the top waiver wire target for pretty much anybody.
Yeah, I agree with you. We mentioned Bucky Irving last week before this game, saying that he was about to take over the backfield, or we thought he could. Yeah, it looks like he's going to. He looked much better than Rachaad White in this game, and I think it just makes sense to let him take it. Plus, he's got a cooler name, like Bucky the Buccaneer. Like, come on, that's sick.
It fits. It's perfect.
Yeah. But like, other than Bucky Irving, what the fuck happened to the Bucs in this one? I don't understand what happened. They were supposed to dominate, but they got dominated by the Broncos, who didn't even do all that much on offense, really. I think it was a Buccaneers complete failure on offense for the most part. I just don't know what happened. I'm shocked and appalled. The Buccaneers should be a playoff team and the Broncos shouldn't, so the Bucs should have fucking won this game. So that's just disappointing for their fan base. Hopefully this game doesn't come back to bite them when it comes down to week 17, week 18, you know?
Yeah, completely agree there. This is a game that they should have won and come away with saying this is a lost opportunity for the Bucs. And it's certainly not going to get easier for them next week based on how their opponent played this week. So we'll touch on that in our next video. But
I will.
One more thing I'm coming away from this game saying, who the fuck is Tyler Batty?
Tyler Batty?
Yeah. He was a running back for them, and he led their backfield in carries for the Broncos. Never heard of him. But he somehow was relevant. I don't know if he led the backfield in carries, but he was right up there. Actually, fact check that for you here right now. Tyler Batty tied Bo Nix in rushing attempts. Javonte Williams had 5. Jaleel McLaughlin had 5, and he had 9. Who the fuck is Tyler Batty?
I mean, maybe we had both sides having a new running back taking over the backfield in this game.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe they realized that the other two guys sucked and they're ineffective. I've been saying that Javonte Williams sucks for years, and he somehow keeps.
He was good pre-injury.
So like this whole offseason, it was you got to buy Javonte Williams. He's gonna be the RB1. He's gonna be like top 5 running back. I'm like, no,
I drafted him, so yeah.
But you should listen to me about everything because apparently my weekly takes for starter sit-ins were absolutely terrible this week. So
I did like how Bo Nix played, man. I still think he could be a guy. He just got to go through some rough spots. That's all.
Yeah, it's a learning team, but he's got a coach there that can get him there. So moving on though to another game that we were completely fucking wrong on, except for LJ. Apparently, I don't know who is feeding LJ his information. I don't know if it's some type of magician, someone with a crystal ball, but the Vikings are the Texans. The Vikings absolutely massacred the Texans 34-7. The Texans came in favored, but left looking like they got a bad haircut, completely embarrassed. Texans got a Viking funeral in this one, looking like dead on arrival. Are the Vikings legit? Yes. I'm going to answer that question right now. The Vikings are legit. CJ Stroud struggled against Brian Flores' revamped defense, and they had 2 picks in this game, which doesn't happen too often on CJ Stroud. It's very unlike him. It was pretty clear they need Mixon in that offense to kind of mix things up a little bit, I guess. But Sam Darnold, 4 touchdowns against a very good Texans defense. Sam is efficient and productive. He's been efficient in every game. Does he even have an interception this year yet?
I think he threw one last week, didn't he?
I don't recall.
I could be wrong.
He's been very good. Very, very good. Yeah, I mean, I gave you a little bit there on my take, but tell me what you saw in this game, because CJ Stroud having that bad of a game, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I said the Vikings could pull it off. but I did pick the Texans and was wrong. LJ, I don't know what you're doing. Please let me know who your guy is. But yeah, CJ Stroud looked kind of confused by the Vikings out there. You mentioned Brian Flores and this defense. They're just doing really well. One of the top defenses in the league. I think Brian Flores is going to have to be talked about as a head coach candidate after this year if it keeps going like this. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, the Vikings just looked better overall. Joe Mixon, you mentioned, is a very important part of the Texans offense, and it looked like they missed him a lot. But the Vikings just, both sides of the ball, they just outperformed the Texans. Sam Darnold, he looked like Kirk Cousins out there from last year before Cousins got hurt in this offense. And I love it for the Vikings. I'm a Viking fan. I have been for a long time, but obviously I'm a Giants fan. But I like the Vikings. Adrian Peterson, that's who really turned me on to the Vikings. But yeah, I think the Vikings have a really good coach over there too. What was his name? Something?
O'Connell?
Shit, I can't think of his name.
Kevin O'Connell?
Kevin O'Connell, thank you. Yeah, I think they have a really good coach over there that knows how to call plays, and I think the Vikings, they look like they're on their way to the playoffs this year with Sam freaking Darnold at quarterback. Yeah. And I'm ready for it.
Sam Darnold, who would have thought? I feel like this is the same conversation as Mark Sanchez being AFC championship quarterback.
Maybe this will be like the year that Case Keenum took the Vikings to the playoffs and lost to the Saints in crazy Stephon Diggs winning game.
You never know what's going to happen in the NFL. Nick Foles won the Eagles the Super Bowl. So,
yeah.
Should you know? That guy right there.
You never know. The Eagles into this.
You never know. Hey, it just goes to show you. You don't know what's going to happen in this league.
Yeah. Vikings are exciting to watch week in and week out, though. So,
yeah.
That was our game of the week, too, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, good call on that one, I guess, for a fun Vikings performance, but it wasn't very contested. We'll touch on it later, but I think the real game of the week came on Monday night, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But moving on, the Giants and Browns. The Giants beating the Browns is like finding out your lost keys were just in your pocket the whole time. Surprising, but you're mostly just confused. The Giants beat the Browns like Deshaun Watson at a massage parlor, totally unprepared for the pressure.
No.
Malik Neighbors, this is my favorite thing of this game. Malik Neighbors is him. He is the leading fantasy wide receiver. He is so damn good. It's crazy. He's so good. Amari Cooper finally shows up in this game. I feel like one of my sits always ends up showing up, and this was that. He had done nothing prior, and he absolutely torched the Giants in this game. Even though it all came in like the fourth quarter, he still ended up doing everything for the Browns offense and almost pulled a comeback out. But anyway, Giants get the dub. Daniel Jones saves his job for now. What do you, this is your team though. So I want you to tell me what you take away from this.
Yeah, I wasn't overly confident coming into this game, and I was definitely not confident after the first 10 seconds of the game where the Giants fumbled the ball on the very first play of the kickoff, and then Deshaun Watson throws a touchdown to Amari Cooper on the first play of their offensive drive. I was like, okay, well, this is going well. But yeah, after that, Malik Neighbors just took over this game. He looked like prime OBJ out there with some of those nasty catches. And it was honestly very stressful, but very fun to watch. Because not only did Malik Neighbors take over the game, but really the Giants' defense was annihilating Deshaun Watson all game. They sacked him 8 times, Fred. 8.
Love to see it. Love to see Deshaun Watson being a victim of assault.
Yeah, on his back for different reasons, But, dude, I absolutely loved it. Screw that guy. Let's fucking go, Giants. Brian Burns showed up. Kayvon Thibodeau showed up. Sexy Dexy was getting back there all game like he always does. We even had the linebackers making sacks and shit. Like, it was awesome. It was an awesome defensive performance. And without Malik Neighbors, I don't know what this offense would be, to be honest. So he's got to stay healthy.
He certainly does have to stay healthy. And, he's very fun to watch.
I will say Devin Singletary looked pretty dang good, too, in this game.
I was also going to touch on that, and I'll touch on him later as well. He's actually one of my starts this week. So now I'll touch him later. I'll touch I'll touch on the subject.
We're talking about Deshaun Watson too. So be careful, man.
Don't need Deshaun Watson's bad habits running off on me. It feels like it might be a Diddy party situation here. So.
Oh God, he's
Anyway.
probably better than us.
Probably. Ain't no party like a Diddy party, right?
Yeah.
Moving on, though. Let's move on to a team who apparently I'm a low-key fan of. I guess I like defenses. The Steelers take on the Chargers. Before I touched that, though, I didn't say the score for you guys. You guys won 21-15, so good show. Give you a little applause.
It was my shitter of the week, but it was actually a good game.
Give you a little applause there. So, I mean, the Browns are always shit. The Browns jerseys are shit. The Browners are brown. So,
Browns will brown.
Anyway, Steelers took this game 20-10. It turns out the Chargers forgot their Chargers because the Steelers powered through and left them running on empty, proving that sometimes the real spark comes from a good old-fashioned defense instead of a flashy offense. Fields gets another win and takes the Steelers to 3-0. Who would have thought? Is this Fields' teammate? Do you think it's Fields' team? Do you think Russ is expendable right now? Do you think he's going to get dealt? Dolphins, maybe?
I don't think so. I still think Russ is the better quarterback, even after these. I mean, the Steelers' offense hasn't won them shit. They haven't looked good in a single game.
No.
And Justin Fields hasn't looked good in a single game. He's just like a warm body standing back there. He's not making crazy mistakes, so you got to give him that. But Russell Wilson, I still think, would be doing better if he ever gets healthy and is able to play. But
yeah, you've got to give him the credit that he isn't making any mistakes, which is great. But like you said, at the same time, he's not doing anything to give you confidence in the offense if they get into a match where the defense is giving up points. You don't think that they're going to be able to score on their team.
Hell no.
But the defense did shut down the Chargers. There wasn't really much going for them at all in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers kind of just smacked the Chargers in the mouth all day. I mean, Justin Herbert went down. They lost both of their tackles in this one. And once their tackles went down, they couldn't block for shit.
Yeah.
And they just got crushed by the Steelers' monster defense. That's really what happened.
Down.
So, I mean, the Steelers are getting wins right now with that defense
for a while, right?
Humming, but I just feel like they're going to start losing at some point if they play a better team. And we'll see if that happens, but I can't trust Fields. He hasn't shown anything. And the Chargers, honestly, I'm a little nervous for them with these injuries now.
Yeah, it's a little tough. It's a little tough for them with the injuries, especially for Alt getting hurt. He's imperative. He's huge to their offensive line. So hopefully they can heal up a little bit, because otherwise they might be looking at the cellar there in their division. Moving on, though, let's go to Bears-Colts. The Bears lost yet another game. The Bears lost this game 21-16. Anthony Richardson ended up out-dueling Caleb Williams in this game. Kind of, I guess. The Bears might want to reconsider their name after that game. They look more like Puddly Petty Bears than fierce Grizzlies against the Colts, proving once again that a horse can outrun a bear. I guess outrun is a little bit fitting there with Anthony Richardson. I don't know. I guess though, it's kind of fitting for Richardson because he couldn't pass the ball at all. He didn't really do much. This game, I come away with just kind of having more questions about Anthony Richardson than I really had at the start of the season. I mean, starting the season, you were pretty down on Richardson, and I was the opposite. And I'm kind of going right to that boat there. I'm saying, is Richardson giving you enough faith there that he's the future of that franchise for the Colts? His decision-making is not great. He has terrible accuracy issues. He has a lot of talent, but it's just not all coming out right now because of his decision-making. As far as the other side, Caleb Williams, he looked a little bit better again, but he still has yet to make you feel confident in that number one draft pick that he was. He keeps getting the benefit of the doubt from people. They're saying, he has the bad offensive line, he has bad coaching, bad play calling. So did Justin Fields there. So what's the difference there between Justin Fields and what is perceived as a better Caleb Williams, who again can't do anything with the offensive line, with the coaching staff, but has a better supporting cast? Doesn't seem like a fair comparison there for me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give him a little more time than 3 games, but I agree with that. But real quick, I did want to say, you are correct in your assessment. A horse's top speed is clocked in at around 44 miles per hour, whereas a bear's top speed is clocked in at only 30 miles per hour. So,
wow.
A horse is quite a bit faster.
Yeah.
I suppose that's why we race them, huh?
That's why we generate car speed off horsepower, right? So
it's true. That's true. I mean, there's a reason we rode horses and not bears. I mean, maybe it's because horses won't eat us, but
a bear
they're
might
also
maul us to death. And
but yeah, Bears and Colts. It was just a kind of a shit game on offense, to be real. Jonathan Taylor being the main reason why the Colts won in my eyes. I will say on the Bears end, Rome Odunze did look pretty good. He's been
first TD.
Good. Yeah, he seems like he was a good first-round pick. That's the receiver that I wanted the Giants to draft. Although Malik Neighbors looks like an absolute stud.
I did like looks pretty damn good. I think you'd be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah,
really, I just really hope that these quarterbacks.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just hope these quarterbacks don't turn into busts, basically, is what I'm coming out of this game with, because they've both looked pretty bad. Richardson has had more ups than Caleb Williams in year 2, I suppose. Caleb Williams, I don't think, has looked good at all yet, like at all. No. So,
and like hopefully I said, in college, when they played good teams at USC, he looked absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, he looked like he was playing for North Dakota State, Division I AA there, and just playing up against the competition like he didn't belong. But then when they played somebody that was, this isn't the team that, this is just who I can think of, but when they played like Colorado, he looked like an absolute stud because he was playing a team that wasn't as good as USC. But I don't know. I never want to wish failure on somebody, but
I know you don't like him.
It just doesn't. I don't think he shows up big games. It's not that I don't like him. It's just I don't think that he has the mental wherewithal to power through and get those gritty wins when it doesn't come easy.
Yeah, dude. I really just want him to do good because I think it's cool that he paints his nails. That's the sole reason why I want him to do good.
Yeah, I mean he's got a world of talent. Hopefully he can turn it around. But let's move on to the next game on the docket. This is one that I thought was going to be a lot more high scoring than it was. The Cardinals and the Lions. The Cardinals ended up taking this game, or the Lions, ended up taking this game 20-13. I picked the Cardinals, but looks like the Cardinals should stick to flying because on the ground against the Lions, they just couldn't keep up. And that statement is pretty fitting because James Conner did shit. Really the only positive in this game that I had to take away was the first drive there for the Cardinals. They looked pretty good. And then the Cardinals black jerseys are sick. But that's really the only positive I have for them in this game. Offensively, at least. Their defense did hold a pretty good Detroit offense to 20 points, which does kind of pose a question in my mind about Detroit going forward for the season because they have yet to score more than 20 points on the year so far. And for an offense that's supposed to be as good as they are, they haven't shown up and haven't looked like it. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been great. Gibbs has been great as well. Sam Laporte is probably going to be out for a couple weeks, so it might be a little bit more difficult for them going forward.
I think it's a low ankle sprain from, if I remember correctly. So I think he could play sooner rather than later. But yeah, he's definitely going to be questionable. But yeah, I agree with your takes pretty much. I mean, the Lions, I feel like, they still got the dub and they showed that they can win gritty games where they're not doing that well. So I still think they're showing why they're a playoff team, and the Cardinals are kind of showing why they're still a piece away from being there. But honestly, I feel like the fan bases should be pretty happy with this outcome on both sides because the Cardinals, they're playing a perceived Super Bowl contender, and they kept it close, and the Lions got a dub. So
they kept it close, and they really took it down to the wire and had a chance to win it. So, it wasn't an exciting game, but I guess it was a good game in terms of competitiveness.
Yeah, the Cardinals, you mentioned James Conner. He's been up and down for them. He's had like some big games and some games where he kind of just disappears. I really want them to use Trey Benson more, the rookie. He only got 2 carries in this game,
Mm.
and he got 8 yards out of that. So, I mean, you can't really take much out of that. But he looked like a stud coming out of college. So I just want to see him get the ball
One of the
more
best backs in
and
the
see what
draft.
he can do. Yeah.
I agree. I think you definitely should take over that backfield going forward. And that's really like one of my approaches to Dynasty. And it's not even like most people look at what running back is going into a positive situation this year. A lot of times I'm looking for who's going to be into a positive situation the following. So you're looking at James Conner's going to be on the final year of his deal. Who is going to replace him? Maybe Trey Benson. They're probably not going to pay James Conner. So look at that next following year, can get those guys for the 3rd round, 4th round pick in Dynasty. So it's nice to look at. But who we got back there? Who's the kid cat?
Tito.
He's
a thirsty boy.
We got to tell his parents our dog this week. Well, actually the next 3 weeks we have them while they're over in Europe. So
with LJ. Are they hanging out with LJ in Europe?
Yeah, they're meeting up with LJ. Showing him all the spots.
I can't tell if that was a joke. I feel like that was a joke, but
yeah, they're not meeting up with LJ. He is Jack's dentist, but they're not meeting up with LJ. Yeah, they're in Spain and Portugal, and he's in Italy. But let's move on. Panthers-Raiders. Panthers-Raiders was not as close as the score would indicate. Panthers ended up winning this game 36-22, but it was a bloodbath. It was such a shocker to see the Panthers dominate the Raiders that I checked to make sure I wasn't watching a rerun from 2015 when they went 15-1 with Cam Newton. It was baffling. I mean, they looked like absolute dog shit every single week, every single game. This year, last year, didn't matter. They looked absolutely terrible. And the Raiders just beat the Ravens last week. So naturally coming in, we thought, okay, well, the Raiders are going to win this game. No fucking chance. Andy Dalton turned back the clock and was a fucking baller, dude. Threw for over 300 yards, absolutely slung it out there. And he gave Deontay Johnson his best wide receiver game in years, quite frankly. So it really goes to show you that with a competent quarterback, this offense can be good. With Bryce Young, it was not. So Bryce Young is clearly more of a project. Is he done? I'm not sure. I think he is. But I'm not going to definitively say that he's done right now because he is so young and so early in his career. But to put up 36 points with the way the offense has looked was pretty shocking.
Yeah, I mean, for the Panthers, I mean, it was just wow. I guess Bryce Young is just bad because Andy Dalton with the same squad looked like an absolute stud out there.
Yeah.
And you have to think he starts the rest of the year after that performance, unless things go poorly, I suppose, at some point.
Unless he gets injured because he's like 40.
True. But like you said, does this mean Bryce Young's already a bust in year 2, the beginning of year 2? That's a tough pill to swallow for Panthers fans, man.
Yeah.
Because he's just looked complete. I think the plan at this point has to be let Bryce Young try to learn under Andy Dalton, see what he does right and wrong, which is what most rookies should do rather than get thrown into the fire like they so often do these days.
He's not a rookie anymore. Second year player.
Yeah. True, but I mean, his rookie year,
he should not have started last year. He should not have started last year. He was put into a terrible situation. It was terrible management. It was terrible ownership, terrible coaching. He should not have started last year. He should have sat back, learned, and I mean, I'm in agreement there. I think that rookies should not start for the most part unless they definitively earn it. I mean, obviously, C.J. Stroud was a killer rookie, but that doesn't usually happen. Most rookies struggle their rookie year. Peyton Manning struggled his rookie year. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Who Brett Favre has now, I guess today was shown that he has Parkinson's. So
I saw that.
Prayers out to him. But Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. So it should happen. Rookies should learn. It's a completely different game. I don't think they should be thrown in.
Yeah, not too many rookies look good off the bat. Like C.J. Stroud, outlier. Matt Ryan, I believe, looked really good his freshman year, or his rookie year. Outlier. You can say Carson Wentz, I guess, rookie year maybe. But I mean, he's not even good anymore. I don't know.
RG.
Derek Carr, it's it's not too many rookies that look really good off the bat. So just let them sit back and learn. That seems to be the best way.
How did Andrew Luck look in his rookie year?
Andrew Luck?
Yeah.
He looked good. Yeah.
He had a good rookie year, right? Yeah, I mean, I think he was more pro ready. He was like somebody coming in. He was like a highly touted guy like a Trevor Lawrence, a Caleb Williams, like somebody you coming in is not going to be dog shit, even though Caleb Williams does look pretty bad right now. Remains to be seen what the rest of the season will look like.
Speaking of rookie quarterbacks real quick, I saw a lot of Panthers fans posting after this game that with Andy Dalton looking so much better than Bryce Young, calling Bryce Young a bust and wondering if their team's going to draft another first overall quarterback this year after the season. I'm like, damn. That's pretty wild.
Interesting. Although the way that Andy Dalton played, they're going to get some wins. They might not get the first overall pick. So
that's true.
Could they get Shedeur Sanders?
No, they could.
I think Canales is too good of a coach to just forego the coaching job and give that over to Deion. So, and he's a new hire. So I don't see that happening.
I will say, I saw Deion Sanders, speaking of Sanders, I saw him say that he doesn't plan on following his kids into the NFL. He wants to build up Colorado more.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true, if somebody offered him a job. But
money talks, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But moving on, let's go to Seattle. Where the Seattle Seahawks took on the two-wheel-less Dolphins and won 24-3. The Dolphins faced off against the Seahawks and realized they were swimming upstream without Tua. Good luck navigating the rest of the season. Without Tua, the Dolphins might as well change their name to the Flounders because they're flopping around in a sea of trouble. This game was trouble from the get-go for the Dolphins. The Seahawks are pretty much just a two-headed monster. Whoever is running the ball and DK Metcalf. The Dolphins are cooked without a legit quarterback. If Fields' improved play leads to him starting in Steelers, this is where I talked about earlier. Could Russ be an option potentially for the Dolphins? I don't think so. I agree with you. I think Russ is the Steelers QB for the rest of the season once he's healthy. But the Dolphins need to fix the quarterback position to contend. To do anything this season, they need to fix the quarterback position, whether it's Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, doesn't matter. Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, I don't care who it is. It just can't be Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins, real quick, actually, I know we moved on from the Raiders. I did want to mention that Max Crosby suffered a high ankle sprain in that game, which is tough for the Raiders because he's their best fucking player.
Him and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, going back to the Dolphins, like you said, they're absolute trash without Tua. Skylar Thompson looked like a freaking Canada quarterback in this game. Like, he doesn't look like he belongs in the NFL after this one. Did you see I think it was the last play of the game where the blocking was phenomenal for him and they were waiting for him to throw it downfield and he just throws it 15 yards down the field instead?
Yeah.
Dude, you can't trust a quarterback that can't even make a fucking throw to the end zone. Yeah.
The Seahawks. I think the most realistic trade proposal for them should be approaching the Broncos and saying, we'll take Jarrett Stidham, we'll take Zach Wilson, whoever you want to give us, because one of those guys has to be expendable. Jarrett Stidham wants to start. Jarrett Stidham thinks he is a starter in the NFL, so let's throw him over to Miami, see if he can for a 7th rounder. Same with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was a high draft pick, has a strong arm in that offense.
He'd be better than what they have.
Can he do something? Possibly. We'll see. He's definitely better than Skylar Thompson, and I hate Zach Wilson. So,
yeah. I have an idea for a quarterback.
What was that?
I did have an idea for a quarterback. I wanted to see what you thought of.
Yeah. For
Miami, yeah.
Okay, I'm interested.
Since Tua's questionable, for his career at this point. I'm sure he will play again, but it's still a question mark. Anything could happen. And so I think they should be looking at young quarterbacks to trade for. And Zach Wilson would be a good choice there. But and honestly, maybe even Sam Darnold after this season, because he's going to be a free agent. But I was thinking, what about the Cowboys? Trey Lance,
boy.
I mean, he's definitely available. He's their third string quarterback, and he was once thought of as a stud
Not even
and
my
he's
boys,
got some
just
skill.
have
And
him in
Mike
Dynasty
McDaniel,
in my Toxic squad, so I would like it.
I mean, Mike McDaniel knows Kyle Shanahan. He knows that offense. So, I mean, maybe he could try to get something out of Trey Lance. I feel like it'd be a better option than what the fuck they have behind Tua right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely should try that. I mean, it doesn't hurt at all. He's got a world of talent. He's got a strong arm. He can run. It's really just decision making, and that offense is so quick and moving on the go. I feel like it takes a lot of that pressure off of him from having to sit back in the pocket and be able to analyze the defense, because he can take off if he needs to because of how fast that offense runs.
Yeah. And Skylar Thompson even got hurt in this game too. So they might even be without him now. Granted, he might have got benched anyway after this game, but I don't know what they're going to do. Like Tyler Huntley, Tim Boyle, they're screwed. They're screwed, man.
They're screwed.
The Seahawks didn't even play all that good, and they dominated them.
Yeah, they didn't have Kenneth Walker either. They had Zach Charbonnet, so
who did solid,
and he's like the 6th or 7th best running back right now in the NFL in terms of fantasy production, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
But I agree. I think we got to send these over to the Dolphins. We got some ideas for them to improve their quarterback room. All it takes is a 7th rounder. Go ahead and get it done.
Probably.
Tyreek Hill needs someone to give him the damn ball.
Yeah.
But moving on to Dallas, Jerry World. The Dallas Cowboys took on the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens won 28-25. The Ravens just beat the Cowboys, and honestly, it felt like a scene straight out of The Wire. You had the Cowboys thinking they were the kings of the block, but the Ravens swooped in like Stringer Bell, saying, "You thought you were running this game? Now we're the ones with the real power." There's trouble in Jerry World, and I'm here for it. So the Cowboys look like they fucking stink, dude. It took 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns to make this even a game. The Ravens can't finish out games, so that's more to them and not being able to manage than it is for the Cowboys. Allowing 3 Dallas touchdowns in the fourth quarter, that can't slide if they're going to end up having playoff push. But yeah, the Cowboys suck.
Yeah, dude. The Cowboys comeback falls short in this one, like you mentioned. I mean, after the first couple weeks, I am so ready for the Giants-Cowboys game on Thursday. I'm so ready for it. The Cowboys don't look very good. I think everyone's getting fired after this game, and I'm so ready for it.
I came into this game thinking Cowboys need a legit running threat, and they need a legit wide receiver too. Their defense, like I've been saying all along, is overrated because they are completely capitalistic. They completely capitalize on turnovers. If they do not get the turnovers, they are not a good defense because they have always given up yardage, but they always got turnovers. They're not getting those. They're giving up points instead. On the other side of the ball, though, is Lamar Jackson a quarterback? Because they only had 15 pass attempts in this game.
I like to say that he's not, personally.
15 pass attempts. People say Jalen Hurts isn't a quarterback, but he has 25, 30 pass attempts. 15 pass attempts. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not great. He did score on the ground, like you come to expect these days. And Derrick Henry also. We mentioned, like, pencil him in for a touchdown every week. That dude's a monster.
Every week.
But yeah, Lamar, I'm a Lamar hater. So yeah, no, I'm going to say he's not a quarterback still. I don't care if he's a 2-time MVP winner. That's because he's got legs, not because he's got an arm, all right?
And I mean, I kind of like Lamar, but like, at this point, like, come on. Like, you have weapons at wide receiver. Not wide receiver. You have passing weapons. You have Flowers. You have Andrews. You have Likely. Yes, I think they do need
Andrews
a better wide receiver
didn't even get a catch
too.
in this game.
Yeah, 1 target. That's and crazy. Likely both got 1 target.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Their leading receiver for the game was Nelson Aguilar. Nelson fucking Aguilar. The dude that
he was in the league.
The dude that got arrested for an assault charge at a Philadelphia strip club that I worked next to. Well, used to work next to. So, it's wild, dude. It's wild.
They got the win, though.
They got the win. That's all that matters. They beat the Cowboys. We love to see it. So
for the Cowboys,
that game, we were rooting for the Ravens.
Yeah, for sure. For the Cowboys, I wanted to say, I know previously I mentioned that I thought Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders were going to take over Dallas next year. That plan's out the window with Dak getting paid. And my new thought, I still think Fat Mike is going to get canned by the end of the season, probably before the end of the season at this rate. And I think the Cowboys are going to go all in for Bill Belichick. I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm ready for that, too.
Bill Belichick, bringing Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones together, that'd be fucking wild. Especially since Robert Kraft is so pissed off about Jerry Jones getting into the Hall of Fame before him. That would just be the icing on the cake if Belichick left and then came back to go to the Cowboys.
10 years ago, that'd be a match made in heaven. Next year, I don't think it will be. But I think it's going to happen. That's my thought. I think it's happening.
It'll certainly be a headline.
I mean, he'd get that defense back up to snuff. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I think Dak would be screwed, though, with Josh McDaniels coming in to coach him. It'd be over.
McDaniels. Let's move on from those guys. Let's move on from Dallas. Let's go over to L.A., the City of Angels. The 49ers took on the Rams in a West Coast battle, California showdown. The Rams upset the 49ers in this game, a game of two banged-up teams, which was like watching two old cars in a demolition derby. Neither one could decide who was more broken. And this was an interesting game. I picked the Niners, so did you, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that the Rams won. I like the Rams. I think they're a better team. Not a better team. I for sure am a 49ers hater, dude. I'm not going to shy away from that. I do not like the 49ers. I do not like Deebo Samuel. I think Brandon Ayuk is overrated. Brock Purdy has done nothing wrong. I feel no way about Brock Purdy. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I like CMC, but I don't like a lot of players on that team.
Yeah. I mean, it was a close game between a couple beat-up squads. Jennings randomly went off and looked like a stud with Deebo
how
out.
did I not say anything about that? Juwan Jennings, dude, 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. He instantly, after this game, became a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy.
I mean, it seems like the 49ers just pick somebody out of a hat and decide that they're going to be really good.
It's just apparently not going to be Brandon Ayuk after getting paid because he has less yardage through 3 games than Juwan Jennings had this game.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty bad for the guy who just got that huge deal. Honestly, though, if I'm the 49ers, I'm kind of pressing the panic button on their season.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know that I'm like smashing it. I'm not like hitting it with a hammer, but like I am like looking away from it and then turning back and pressing it because at this point, you don't know where CMC is going to be for the rest of the season. Like you had said the other day, he's now in Germany getting looked at by a specialist there. Brandon Ayuk looks like absolute dog shit. Deebo Samuel's out, and he's always battling injuries every year of his career, so it looks like the same thing's going to happen this year. George Kittle is out. Is he going to battle injuries for the year? If they don't have a full supporting cast, that offense is not going to be that good. And their defense, which is supposed to be the best part of their team, is giving up points every week.
Yeah, Brock Purdy got hurt in this game too, if you saw that. Back injury. Yeah. Hopefully that's not too serious, but they're beat the hell up right now. I mean, they lost to an even more beat up team though. So I don't.
Yeah. That's even more telling though. Something isn't right there in San Francisco, and if it doesn't get right quick, it might be pretty tough for them because the NFC West is in a slouch division. I mean, Seattle Seahawks are 3-0. Talent-wise, they might not be the best team, but they are healthy, and they do have some big playmakers on their team. The Rams took this game, even though they are banged up, and the Cardinals are elevated compared to last year. They're not a pushover. So this isn't going to be a cakewalk for the 49ers, and they need to really evaluate for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to backtrack real quick. I forgot one small talking point when we were talking about the Panthers-Raiders. Adam Thielen went down in that game after a huge touchdown. He hurt his hamstring and had to get brought into the locker room where he did not return. And they just put him on IR. So they're going to be without one of their top targets with Andy Dalton running the floor. So
look for their rookie out of South Carolina, to start
Oh
getting
yeah,
some more
dude.
targets.
Dude, I can't wait.
Xavier Leggett, right?
League it.
I like him a lot. He seems like a fun character, fun kid, and he's somebody who would be fun after they score some touchdowns.
Breakout next week.
So let's see it.
Breakout game.
Moving on, let's go to Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs beat the Falcons, and let's be honest, it was like watching a magic show where the refs were the assistants, disappearing penalties here, phantom call there, and an instant win. The Chiefs, once again, were assisted by the refs in this game. This is 3 weeks in a row where they have been assisted by the refs. The Chiefs do have the best player on the field, and it is not Mahomes. It is not Rashee Rice. It is somebody in black and white. It's the ref every single game. It's becoming quite alarming at this point, how the way they're getting helped out by the refs. So I'm not sure if you watched this game, but did you see the pass interference call at the end of the game that the Falcons
missed it?
Okay, so Falcons driving down the field again 2 weeks in a row. Kirk Cousins trying to take them through primetime, saying, no, primetime Kirk is here. Primetime Kirk is not a bust. Primetime Kirk is here to fucking slay that shit. He was trying to get the win, trying to get the dub, and put it up for Kyle Pitts, I believe. And the defender puts his head into Kyle Pitts' chest, is not playing the ball at all. The ball is 5 yards behind the defender.
Now that you mention this, I did see a clip of that on Instagram today, actually. Like, I didn't realize that was like towards the end of the game.
Yes.
Yikes.
Like, there could not be a more textbook pass interference call, yet there was no pass interference.
That's not great.
Yeah.
They just won last week because of a non-call too, although that one wasn't as bad as this one sounds.
It just gets more egregious. So, I mean, I'll throw a picture on here of what it looks like. So
next week, they're just going to be RKOing people in the end zone.
Right?
No call.
I mean, on top of Rashee Rice, who also, one of my points from this game is Rashee Rice is fucking good, dude. He is wide receiver 2 in fantasy this year, and he's a legit wide receiver 1, but kind of pairing with the help they're getting from the reps, they're apparently also getting help from the NFL because, again, he is not suspended. He should be suspended. This team just gets everything they fucking want, and it's all because of the Swifties. It's all
the Swifties.
It's all
because
Taylor
Swift money,
at
man.
the end of the day, the NFL wants that Taylor Swift fucking money. And the more the Chiefs win, the more the Chiefs get into the playoffs and can extend their season, the more Taylor Swift money they get. Despite Travis Kelce playing absolutely fucking terrible.
I'm surprised they didn't give Taylor Swift the Super Bowl this year.
To play.
I'm surprised they didn't get her to play the Super Bowl this year. I'm shocked, actually.
Why do they need her to play it? She's already going to be there because the Chiefs are going to be there.
I mean, imagine she plays the halftime show as Travis Kelce's playing in the game. And
Travis Kelce comes out full pads on stage with her.
Oh, my God. How did they not do this? I'm shocked.
I mean,
other note.
Yeah,
I did want to mention Carson Steele looked pretty solid as the starting running back there for the Chiefs.
Yes, that is a note here as well. He looked solid. What was it, 15, 17 carries, 72 yards. Pretty solid outing. Especially considering
he's Pacheco,
an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, he's no Pacheco, but I think he can handle it for the most part.
I think he can too. It seems like the Chiefs just kind of pluck somebody out of nowhere and they do well. Look, I love Andy Reid. I'm always going to have love Andy Reid, even though I hate the Chiefs. So anyway, done talking about that game because the Chiefs fucking pissed me off. Let's move over to Monday night. Monday Night Football. We have 2 football games on Monday night. Let's start off with the New York squad, which we always like to root for. We always like to see them win. The Buffalo Bills taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Billies.
The Bills just demolished the Jaguars so bad. It looked like they were giving a masterclass on how to play football. I mean, the Jaguars were like a kid in the classroom who raises their hand to answer a question, and the teacher goes, no, just sit down. This isn't even your subject. It was like watching a straight A student give a presentation while the Jags were in the back doodling on their desk and wondering if snack time was coming up. The Bills are the class of the NFL right now, in my eyes, and the Jaguars, they're just hoping for a participation trophy at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it was a complete
long-winded intro there, but it gets the point across. The Jaguars looked like fucking trash, and the Bills killed it on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, man. The Jags were a complete and utter embarrassment for Doug Peterson going out there. And honestly, I feel like Doug Peterson's job could be on the line after this performance.
We just need like a Tyler clip coming in.
Yeah, but I literally think his job could be on the line. He was talking about he might try to do anything to change things around, which could include even benching Trevor Lawrence, one of the highest. Is he the highest paid? For Mac Jones, yeah. Is he the highest paid quarterback in the league? Or is that... No, that's Dak now, right?
That's Dak now, yeah.
But, like, Jesus Christ, they look awful. I don't know what's going on.
You just paid him this offseason, and now you're going to bench him.
That's crazy, dude. Like, Peterson's screwed, man. Unless they turn stuff around, Peterson's screwed. Josh Allen on the other side.
You have to think it's coaching in quarterback play, although Trevor Lawrence... He looks terrible, but he is a good quarterback. So I think it comes down to coaching. Like at some point, the Eagles, their high was the Super Bowl, and they just crashed and burned with Peterson afterwards. And the same thing is kind of happening with the Jaguars. The Jaguars made it to the playoffs, had a playoff victory. They were riding a high, and then just kind of have crashed and burned since then. And I think that is just kind of the MO of the Doug Peterson teams. It just looks like that's what happens. Even though they have so much talent there. They have Etienne, they have Evan Ingram, who is hurt, but Strange is a serviceable backup tight end. They have good wide receivers there with Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Thomas there, the rookie, Ridley last year, but they still can't get the wins. I know I'm just talking about the offense, and the defense needs a lot of work, but come on, at least be able to put up points.
Yeah, that's crazy. On the other side of the ball, the Bills, I mean, Josh Allen is looking like an MVP candidate this year so far.
MVP front.
Absolutely annihilated the Jags. He did every single thing for the Bills, took over in every category, really. I mean, other than catching the ball. It kind of makes me nervous, though, at the same time, because, like, if Josh Allen gets hurt or if Josh Allen has a bad day, can the Bills win a game? I'm not sold on that. I think Josh Allen is literally the Bills' like entire offense right now.
I think it depends on who they're playing. If the team that they're playing they can run against, James Cook can certainly take over a game. But it's really just those two guys. It's James Cook and Josh Allen. James Cook didn't have to do a lot in this game because Josh Allen got 4 touchdowns to 4 different players. Khalil Shakir, a household name at this point. Top 10 wide receiver in fantasy. Come on. Khalil Shakir. Like, Josh Allen, honestly, is better now without Diggs than he was
having to force feed Diggs. Fucking dramatic
ass. He's being better with the ball. He's being more efficient. He's not having as many turnovers. Like, he looks like a hell of a lot better of a quarterback.
Yeah, dude. If he goes down, they have to go to Mitch Trubisky, though.
Yeah, that's not great.
Let's hope he never gets hurt.
Hopefully not. Yeah, that was great. It was good to see the Bills pull out that win. Not sure if I mentioned the score there, but a whopping 47-10. Really, it was like 40-3 up until like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter or something. So the Bills absolutely demolished them. Bills starters didn't play the fourth quarter, so it was pretty interesting. Although I will say I missed a pretty big bet that I could have won. Because Trevor Lawrence didn't get 200 passing yards. He was 24 yards short because he didn't play the fourth quarter. So
that's tough.
Yeah. I would have liked to see a little bit closer of a game so that I could have got that. So anyway, let's move on. Final game on the Monday night slate. I know we went a little over time here, but Bengals Commanders. The Bengals were our front runner in this game, but it was a great game. This ended up being honestly the game of the week. It was high scoring. It was fun. The Commanders won 38-33 in Cincinnati. The Commanders beat the Bengals, and it felt like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Only the rabbit was confused, and the hat said, "Wait, we can actually win." Jaden Daniels, best QB in this rookie class. At least that's what it looks like right now. He looks really fucking good. And I mean, coming into the year, we said that he was a phenomenal quarterback. He was really good. Our only concern is how will he hold up long term because of his. Well, he looks really good. He looks awesome on the ground. He was putting dimes out there for scary carry. The Commanders' defense looks rough, but offensively, they look amazing. And it's going to keep them in the conversation for maybe not the top of the division, but sniffing up there. They're going to be in a lot of games because of their offense. The Bengals, on the other hand, their defense is going to be their downfall. Their offense is getting in shape. T. Higgins was back, and the offense looked worlds better. The offense put up points. Burrow put up points, and they looked like a legit offense again, which had been missing for a while. And it was fun to see Joe Burrow do that, but nevertheless, they start 0-3.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of tough for Bengals, man, because Burrow and Chase literally, they look back to their normal selves with a really good day, and they take the L still. So they just can't seem to figure out how to win. But like you said, Jaden Daniels, he didn't give a damn how good they were playing. He completely took over this game for the Commanders side, and he finally started using Scary Terry, which was a very big benefit for him. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is good, man, and Commanders fans have to be really happy about the outcome of this game and how he played. And honestly, just watching him a little bit just made me a little sad because Jaden Daniels was one of the guys that our coach wanted to draft this year if the Commanders, he liked Jaden Daniels and Drake May, and he literally was trying desperately to trade up to get one of them. But the Commanders and Patriots would not budge. They liked these guys, which, I mean, now it's looking like they made the right call by drafting Jaden Daniels. And we haven't seen Drake May yet, but I'm assuming we will.
Jaden Daniels looks like a stud. But that is a wrap on a recap for week 3. Go ahead.
Real quick, I wanted to mention Drake May real quick because I saw Patriots fans were like just screeching to the heavens, like, put Drake May in, we want Drake May. And I saw one guy post on a comment section that was asking for Drake May to start. And he posted a GIF of Drake May when he came in for Jacoby Brissett for like a drive or two. And it was just Drake May getting fucking destroyed by like a defensive lineman. And he was like, this is why we shouldn't put him in right now.
Yeah, it's never good. I mean, you and I have both said it. Throwing a rookie to the Wolves, we said it this episode, throwing a rookie into the Wolves, having them just odd stacked against them with a bad offensive line, bad supporting cast, relatively bad defense. Like, they're not going to go in, just turn the franchise over by themselves. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of the times it just ends up hurting them in the long run. Yeah. Daniel Jones, he's really skittish sometimes now. Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield at one point. Like, these quarterbacks get skittish because they get absolutely demolished by the defense time in and time out. So just don't throw them to the Wolves, man. Make sure you have an offensive line in place and let them learn.
And that's the biggest thing is the offensive line. Like, even if you have a relatively poor supporting cast, if you have a good offensive line, a good rookie quarterback is still going to do something there. I mean, look at what C.J. Stroud did last year. I thought Nico Collins was trash. They had a rookie in Tank Dell. The supporting cast wasn't great, but they had a good offensive line, and he was a baller. So,
let's finish it up.
Yeah, that's a wrap on another recap, wrap on another episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Check out the store. Check out the merch. Until next time.
Peace.